Kia ora, Mike King. Today I'm 916 days clean and sober, and I've spent a lifetime on drugs trying to feel as happy as I feel today.
Nice to see you all enjoying a little...
Ko te kaumāwhiti tau te pakeke o Mike King, he tanata rono nui noa o te aroa. I pai tōna whetū i te tau iwa te kaumārima o te rā rautau, kia mōhiotia ia hei tanata whakakata. Ko tōna āhua he whiu te tau o te kupu, e kore nei e tae te karo.
Oh, don't get me wrong, there's a few bush pigs here as well.
Nā te aha I rata katoa te motu whānui ki aia.
Well, it's more about the reasons behind taking the substance and the reasons why we take the substance. And in my case, it was undiagnosed depression compounded by marijuana addiction. I started smoking marijuana when I was 15, kind of on and off till I was 20. And then when I got to 20 years old, I used for the next 25 years.
You should have seen the look on this big black...
No te tau iwa te kaumā ono ki manukau I tūpono ia ki te cocaine. I e rā wā he mahi rawe ke noai ho.
I'd done a gig out at Manukau, and a guy came up to me and said, "Oh man, that was really funny," and he shook my hand, and I knew like, as soon as I felt his hand in my hand, he was palming me something, so I was, "Hey, thank you, brother," you know, and he wandered off. Now I thought he was passing me a joint, which is, you know, not unusual. Even today it's not unusual. When he walked away, I looked at it, and there was a bag of white powder, and I thought, what the hell was this? And I was with an American comedian, and I said, "Hey, you know what this is?" "Hey, I know what that is, come with me." And we went into the bathroom. I remember getting down there, and he chopped it all up, and he put down 2 lines, and he snorted his one. I said, "That's what you do, you just put it in and snort it." So I did that, and boom, just hot flushes overcame me. It was just like, oh God, I felt sick. You know, I thought, what the hell's all of this about? And, you know, everything's just full on coming at me. Once the wave of nausea had finished, what I was left with was this amazing clarity. This unbelievable clarity. For someone who's insecure and wanted to be liked by everybody, this was like the magic potion.
So how much marijuana were you using? I thought, oh, maybe 2, 3, 4
I rono a mai
joints
ki
a
te
day.
nau o te toki iaia e karore haere ana I ngā whenua o Inarani me Amerika. He whenua e muia ana e te cocaine.
Walked off the stage feeling really pleased with myself, and this big geezer come up to me. "All right, you're pretty funny, right? You know, everyone knows me here as Big John," and you know, so I said, "Oh, how you going, Big John?" He said, "Oh, come back to my place, we'll have a drink." And it turned out this guy was a coke dealer, and I spent the next 7 weeks in London with this geezer, hanging out with him, and yeah, got a real nose for the cocaine.
Ko te orana o Mike I te rā wā, kāre e tino ki te ana te cocaine ki Aotearoa nei.
Got back to New Zealand thinking, what am I going to do now? And had a big gig at the power station. When I got there, some dude just came up and gave me a bag, and I thought, wow, that's coke. And I said, "Where'd you get this?" He goes, "It's everywhere." And that was the beginning of the big influx of cocaine into New Zealand.
Nā te riro o Mike ki tēnei taru kino, kua memeha haere o ngā mahi, kua wairangi haere tōna hinenaro.
With the amount of drugs that I was taking, and, you know, with the lifestyle that I was leading, the alcohol, and people telling me I was, you know, "Oh, you're so fantastic," and, you know, suddenly I'm believing all of this, and now I'm holier than thou, and the world must, you know, worship at my feet. I just turned into an obnoxious, obscene, horrible human being. You know, my work was suffering. I wasn't able to write anything anymore because, you know, all I was doing was just imbibing drugs and going up and repeating the same stuff at every gig, and just, you know, my whole world just fell apart.
Ka tahuri te ao o Mike iaia e wairangi ana. I te tau 2006 I te rā I mua mai I te krihimete. I tukia e ia tōna motu paika ki tētahi pau taiapa. E toru wiki whai muri ka aituahia a Mike iaia I Ahitreiria, a I tata hemo ia. I taua wā e noho ana te pāpā o tana wahine ki tō rāua kāina me te mate pukupuku.
My wife and daughter arrived over in Australia. I came out of my coma fully at about 7 o'clock in the morning on the 15th of January, which just happened to be my father-in-law's 75th birthday. We got a phone call at 9 o'clock saying that my father-in-law had passed away in my house. And now I'm not a religious person or anything like that, and but I knew instantly that the old fella had taken my place. I knew then that I had to change the path that I was going down, and I resolved to change.
Ka hoki mai a Mike ki Aotearoa me te whakaaro, he tīmatana hau tēnei.
In my heart, you know, I was on this new hikoi and everything was going to be different. So I get home, I'm driving down the driveway of my house. I remembered that I still had a big block of cocaine in my house. I could hear it calling me. Come on, Mikey, come on. I walked into the house, said hello to everybody, and I just couldn't help myself. I walked into the bedroom, I opened the drawer where I knew it was going to be, and there it was, just sitting there. And the first thing I did was start chopping up.
Nari e kore e taia tēnei nānara te kaupare. Iaia I Hong Kong, I hokona e Mike etahi paura cocaine mana. Ko te whaina ki te whakahemo iaia anō.
Basically, I'd had enough. And I thought, well, if this don't kill you, nothing will. I got through about 98% of it all, and I was still standing, and I just went, well, this must be a sign. I flushed the last of it down the toilet, climbed on a plane to come home, and I said, that's it.
Ka whaia e ia te pai tawhiti, I whakarerea a mai ke ana hoa, me te mōhio anō he mai wiwi tōna, a I rapu ia I te orana.
She was a massive help. I mean, I would never have imagined myself ever going to a psychologist, and she was working on my depression.
Ka toro atu anō ia ki tētahi tohuna Māori, ko Louis Perez tōna ingoa.
Just through a lot of, you know, like meri and like in kōrero, you know, we ended up having to get him to do stuff like kawe mate and, you know, napure and stuff in the water. And, you know, so Mike's treatment was like on every level, really. With the kawe mate, we tend to hold on to a lot of our loved ones sometimes, you know, that cross over. And, you know, just through us not really dealing with the grief or just the whole tangi process.
We sat down the next time I saw him, and he says, there are two people that have passed that you have to go and see. I don't know who they are. Do you know who they are? And I knew instantly who they were. And one was my father-in-law, obviously. The other one that I had to go and see was a young Māori filmmaker called Cameron Duncan. After seeing, you know, these people, it was the first time that I knew I was never going back. It really gave me the resolve that I needed, that, you know, there were, you know, I was not only giving up for myself, but I was also doing it for my family, for my kids, you know. I was doing it for everything else, but I wasn't just doing it for people of this world. There were people of the other world that, you know, that I was on this hiko for, this journey for.
Kia toka rāno te whakaaro a Mike, ka tahi ka whakapā atu ia ki tōna hoa ranatira, a rose mo tōna maiwiwi.
When I finally told my wife that, you know, that I was an addict, she didn't believe me. She's just shocked, absolutely shocked. I never saw you doing it. Yeah. When did you have time to do that? I remember one time she came home and I was driving around in a huge articulated digger that I'd hired, and I was just stripping the whole front of my property. She was like, when did you learn to drive that? I learned to drive that this morning, you know.
Kua puta, kua piki te ora o Mike King ina e nei. Ia rātapu ka whakapaoho ia ki runa ia Radio Live, me te hōtaka e kia nei ko te Nutters Club. He wāhana whakawhiti kōrero, whakaaro hoki. Kua hoki a Mike ki te takahi te matoa te whenua, me te whakapaoho I tōna whakapono hau.
It's about finding myself. It's about finding happiness in me, not finding happiness in acceptance of others. So, no, I just want to make people laugh. And, you know, I don't know where it's going to take me, but, you know, as long as there's one old fella laughing, everything will be good.